What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are at the end of February. This has been a crazy month. I'm gonna finish the month up about $79,500. It's short of that really optimistic $100,000 goal, but it's been an amazing month. This month, last year, February of 2018, I lost $10,000. And January of 2018, I made $115,000. I had my best month of all time, and then I followed it with a red month. So a year ago today, I was actually up only $105,000 on the year. 115 minus 10, 105,000. Well, this year, January wasn't a big blowout. I didn't hit $100,000. It was a good month, but I didn't have a big blowout. And now here in February, I didn't hit $100,000, but I had a good month. And guess what? Today I'm up $134,000 on the year. I'm $30,000 ahead of last year at this same time, and it's without having any record-breaking months. It's just because I've been more consistent. Now, unfortunately, today is another red day. I'm down $565, but all things considered, I'm really managing my risk well by keeping these losses super small. And you guys know I trade with 10, 15,000 shares, which means every penny a stock goes up or down is $100 to $150. So on my green days, yeah, I'm usually making between $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and on my red days, historically, I've lost $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And so to have these really small red days, it feels good. It feels like I'm following the rules. I hear something hitting the scanners, JVA moving up a little bit. You know, it's one of these things where momentum has just been kind of lackluster this week. We've been seeing stocks pop up and then come right back down. I had one today. I jumped in ADIL right off the scanners at 4. It came right back down to 360. I mean, it was just so disappointing. So we're in a market where we gotta be a little more patient, trade with smaller size, be a little more conservative, knowing that this is the ebb and the flow of the market. Things will pick up on the other side, and the key is during the slow period not to give up your profits. So when you get to the other side, instead of digging yourself out of the hole, you're just adding new profits to the account. So this is gonna be a little sideways period in the equity curve, and that's okay. All right, so anyways, that's it for me. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Give me a shout out, one, of what you traded today, and give me a shout out if you have any questions or any comments on today's trades. All right, I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning, 9:15, pre-market analysis. All right, everyone. So we'll do our midday market recap here, go over the trades from this morning. Overall, today, not a very impressive day. Kind of just bummed out that we're not seeing cleaner momentum. We're seeing some momentum, but it's been fairly difficult. So I'm going to finish today down $565. I'll put this here. Which again, it's not the end of the world. I'm up still about 80,000 on the month. It's been a great month. Having a couple of red days where I lose, 500, 600 is not a big deal, especially when I'm trading with anywhere from 10 to 15,000 shares. These are basically the equivalent of break-even days at my share size. But it's disappointing that this week has been so choppy. Monday I was red, Tuesday I made back the loss, yesterday I was red, and today I'm red. So 2 back-to-back red days, the first time here in 2019, but I'm just really glad that the losses are small. I've had back-to-back red days in the past that were like back-to-back $5,000, $7,000 red days, and I all of a sudden have a $14,000, $15,000 hole that I've got to dig myself out of. So, I'm really glad that I'm not doing that. And I'm glad that as I'm seeing the stocks and market being choppy, that rather than try to put the pedal to the metal and get really aggressive, that I'm just kind of more instinctually stepping back and saying, well, I don't know, I'm just not really feeling it, which is much better than being aggressive. Because if I was aggressive in this market, I would just be, if I was taking 9 and 12,000 shares of RKDA on some of those drops, I could have been down $4,500 in a heartbeat. So we'll look at this one first. RKDA, kind of overall disappointing for me. It was on the gap scanner this morning, leading gapper up 50% pre-market. So, a really big mover, a stock that has a history of making big moves, has news out here. Cannabis is in the headline. That is good these days. So, pre-market, this was the price action. And I initially was like, honestly, it doesn't look that great. It's stair-stepping down. It already made this big parabolic move up to 950, 970 was the high, and now it's kind of pulling back. The bell rings, and it immediately goes red. And then as it surges up, I decide to take a red to green trade on it. So I'll pull this back as a 10-second chart so you guys can see. So I did a quick little red to green trade and made about $400 right out of the gates. So let me show you what that looked like. So you can see here it went red, sold off, and then it curled back up here. And so I jumped in this one at, let's see, time was, I was in it at 9:30 and 25 seconds at 13. Tried to get in again at 15. I only got 300 of my 3,000 share order. Immediately selling half at 26, selling more at 34, selling the rest at 25 and 02. So a quick little scalp right in there for $400, which is, a nice way to start the day. So I was like, all right, I've got my cushion. Sweet. Now, we didn't have, and I put my order on the ask, which wasn't a problem because there was volume coming in as it squeezed up here. And, I was sort of back of my target thinking maybe it goes higher, but, it didn't go that high. It only hit a high of 36. So that was RKDA. Switch back to the 1-minute chart. Then ADIL hits the scanners. This wasn't a stock that I was really, I wasn't on my watch list. It just hit the scanners, and I was like, oh, okay. Former runner. I pulled it up and remembered it as a former runner. I saw that it had news today, a headline. So I was like, okay, I'll take a stab. It had squeezed up already from about 370 up to 4. And so I was like, wow, okay, this thing is strong. So I jump in right at 4. Right in there at 4. Boom, stop out at 390, 379, 377. And so just like that, I took a solid $919 loss. So, that was disappointing. And that's not how I, so I went up 400 and then immediately went down about 500 on the day. Next one was CIFS. This one, daily setup. First daily candle to make a new high was 205. I jumped in at 208, 10,000 shares, jumping in for the break, adding for the break of 15. It ended up hitting a high of 224. And so on that one, I made, on the first trade, about $900. So first trade, I made 900. That was right here, selling the rest of it at the top of this candle right here that hit 924. It drops back down, it comes back up, I get back in right here. I got back in right here, and then I stopped out down here. So I gave back 300. So I went up 900, and then now I'm up only 641 on CIFS. And it ended up coming, I think, back up one more time. No, it didn't. So anyway, so that one was kind of disappointing. First daily candle to make a new high I had high hopes for. TTOO, it was on the scanners this morning. Float being a little higher, pre-market chart being a little iffy. I wasn't sure about it. Skipped on it. It did end up making a decent move. So that was kind of disappointing there. So that was, let's see. So that was TTOO. Zzan, lost on that one, $612. This was just a choppy one. I took a scalp on it right, where was it? It was right here. I was in at 70, stopped out as it dropped back down. It came back up a second time, but just wasn't clean, wasn't an easy one. So disappointing on Zzan. RKDA comes back up and breaks over the VWAP right here at $8, which I was like, really watching closely. So it comes up here, and my first trade on it was the 1-minute micro pullback right here. Picture perfect. I'm in it with, I think, 3,000 shares. I went with smaller size because I wasn't having a great day. At that point, I was down, I think, 200 on the day. So I went with small size, in at 81, pops up to 808, nice 27-cent breakout. Picture perfect right there. So I made $500, and I'm now up 400 on the day. does another pullback. I get back in right here, and boom, get stopped out. Now I'm down 500 on the day, back down 500. And then it comes back up, and I'm watching it right through here at 95, 96. I'm watching. All of a sudden, I look away. It breaks, and look at that breakout from $8 to $9.20, and I missed the entry at $8. I jumped in it. Let's see. Let me scroll down here. So I traded it a bunch. So where was this? This was, so let's go down to, look at all these trades. This is ridiculous. So I got in it at 55. As it's squeezing up, I added at 55, added at 77. It hits a high of 80. It dips down for a second. I got a little nervous. So then I got back out at 77, 69. It then surges up here to 905, and then I'm like, dang it. I add at 905. I sell at 916. I add back at 908, 910, sell at 914, add back at 925. This was brutal. Stopped out at 888. So like that, I went from being up about $600 to back down 500. So it's like, so frustrating. And that was on this little pullback right here. Hit a high of 32 and then dropped down. And then it curls back up, hits a high a day, or a high, regular trading hours of 950. But I got back in at 28, sold at 37 and 23. So just overall, frustrating. Today was a day where I, gave it a bunch of chances. And the thing is, one of you guys asked, usually I don't like crowded stocks. A stock like this that has, 17 million shares of volume, it starts to become tug of war. And the thing is, and that's 100% true, and those are very frustrating to trade. So like through here, it's, choppy. I mean, yes, we got one good breakout, but then we got a false breakout, another false breakout, and then finally, all of a sudden it goes. And the thing is, with stocks that are crowded, they're frustrating until they finally break one direction or the other, and then they give you a clean move. The problem is, while you're waiting for the clean move, you can get stopped out, 5 or 6 times going in for what you think is going to be the breakout, and then it's a false breakout. And then going in for the next one, it's another false breakout. So that's why I usually avoid them, and because the false breakouts are just so prevalent. It squeezes up here, finally making a move, but this 1 minute pullback, that wasn't that great. This one was so-so. So they just start to get more difficult, and you start to have a lot of people that have very strong opinions on it, taking 15, 20, 30,000 shares short, long, hitting big orders, and that just creates even more choppiness and even more volatility. So these ones are more difficult to trade. In total, stock's up 57%. I only made $334 on it. Just not an easy day, 50% accuracy, green on 2 names, red on 2 names, about the same as yesterday. No big winners, no big losers, no blow-ups, nothing serious. I had 6,000 share positions on a lot of these. 6,000 shares there. I think that was 10,000 or 12,000 on CIFS, maybe 13,000. So taking pretty decent size, but just not getting those big breakouts that that I want. So I'm glad that I'm able to manage my risk well, and that I'm able to have the presence of mind to slow down and step back when things are getting choppy. Tomorrow, Friday, first day of March, it's hard to have high expectations. I have very, very low expectations given the way this week has been. But I'll show up, and we'll see if we get something to trade. Maybe make a couple hundred here or there. Given that I now have 2 red days in a row, I am tomorrow. Again, just setting the very basic goal of if I can make 500 with 1 trade, I'll be done for the rest of the day. I don't want to. I don't want to push it. I don't want to be super aggressive. Now, certainly, if I build my cushion on the first trade, I have a great trade right out of the gates, then, whatever, but I just don't really expect it. And if I don't trade tomorrow because there's nothing that looks good, I'm okay with that too. I'm just not interested in pushing it. The market has to deserve me putting my money into it, and I don't have to put my money into any trade if I don't see something that looks good. If I'm going to come in with 10,000, 15,000 shares, it's got to be a good quality setup. And if we just keep getting chopped up, we're not seeing good follow through, for me, I'd rather just sit on the sidelines and keep getting chopped up. It's just not worth it. I'm already up well over $125,000 on the year. It's been a great year. We're 2 months in. I have a goal of $40,000 for the month of March, and realistically, I can hit that in one good week of trading. So if I have to sit tight for a couple weeks because we're in a little bit of a lull, I'll sit tight. I'll trade with smaller size, 1,500 shares, 3,000 shares. I'll scale back my risk so I don't, through this choppiness, have big red days. That's really the most important thing, is that when the market is choppy, which it is sometimes, that you scale back your risk so you're not having back-to-back $4,000 or $5,000 red days. And I say that from experience, from having had that happen to me. And I've gotten better at controlling them. Yes, I lost $2,500 on Monday, made back $3,500 on Tuesday, lost $700 yesterday, and lost $500 today. So $565, whatever. So it basically puts me break even on the week. Treading water right now, but keeping my head above water. And so if you picture my equity curve, kind of like long term, weeks like this, this month has been, week 1, week 2, week 3, and then this is week 4, right? Now inside week 4, I dropped down, popped back up like this, but I'm just sideways. Hey, that's all right. Sideways is fine. Just getting ready for the next leg up and doing everything I can to prevent, a leg down with a big loss. So, I can pull up my trader view stats and just show you, like that's just a little, sketch obviously, but let's see, trader view stats. Let me log in here. All right, so, this is that's my equity curve for the last 90 days, like that. If we go back to, where is it? Detailed liquidity. No. Win-loss expectation? Yeah, so that's my equity curve over the last, since 2016. Have I had some periods where it's flat? Yeah. Have I had a couple of, dips? Sure. I wish you could zoom into this a little bit more. Without doing it the way I'm doing, but whatever. So, that's what it looks like. So, we look back on this and, here's a day, May 2018, where I ended up giving back about $17,000 from the top down to the bottom of that dip over the course of 2 weeks. So that was not fun. Here from 926 down to, that's not bad. Well, that's about $8,000. That's not bad. So this one here, we looked at that. So, that's what it looks like. And this is, right now, this week, it's going to be one of those little blips of kind of being flat. This is an interesting one here as well. This is the cumulative drawdown. So that's, so this right here was that $20,000 drawdown in, 2017. So when you have, let's see, I guess that was from here down to here. Yeah, so that was from 384 down to 364. It's a $20,000 drawdown right in there. So this is a sort of valuable thing because, when I started my small account challenge in 2017, I started taking a lot of risk. I was really trying to grow the account quickly. And so, as a result, I ended up having a couple of big misses. Some great home runs, but some big misses, and this is what the misses look like. My biggest drawdown in the last 3 years has been $22,000, and that was on, May of 2018. So that was right in this area here. So from down here all the way up to $1 million, and then a drawdown of 20,000 is not a big deal. But I try to keep those as minimal as possible. And in fact, in the last 6 months, my biggest drawdown since August has been only $4,000. So that would be one red day, and then I got out of the hole, over the next couple days. So the furthest red I went was $4,000. So if I funded an account with $30,000 back in August, I would never have been at risk of blowing it up. So, yes, I've had a bigger account, but I haven't lost more than $4,000, at any time. So on the $1 Million Challenge, I haven't put today's trades in yet, but as of yesterday, I was at $970,460 of profit. So I was $29,500 away. Lost $500 today, so I'm about $30,000 away from the $1 million mark. And over the course of the last, 12, 24, and then this is 25, 26. Over the last 26 months, my monthly return has been averaging right around 100% per month. Now, this month, of course, trading with larger accounts, the percentage goes down, but on average, been doubling my account every month. That is the actual average. It's 102% per month. Granted, in the first month, I made 2,746% because I start with $583. So does that bring up the average? Yeah, obviously. Second month was 150%, 83%, 37%. November 2017 was 83%, 91% in 2018 of March. January last year was 320%. So I've been averaging 102% per month for 26 months. So yeah, another 30,000, I'll be over that level. These metrics start in 2016, so they're already over $1 million. All right, so anyways, that's it for me. I'll see you guys 1 o'clock Eastern for our workshop. Those of you guys who have registered, looking forward to it. And everyone else, I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. We'll try to finish up this week with a couple more green trades. And, I've got my fingers crossed that we see some good momentum. We can finish up Friday, on a good note. But, if it's a little slow, that's okay too. All right, see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Bye, everyone. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.